And good evening, everyone. Tonight's topic is Dan's concept of norms. And I'd just be very glad to cover this for you, actually. Uh, that Dan, our former lead singer, has a certain concept of norms I don't share with him. It's this whole general idea of social norms or cultural norms in society. See, it would appear like, in Dan's view, if you don't toe the line in terms of obeying social norms, you are now a dead man in some way, shape, or form. Either society will handle you, or Dan himself, apparently, which I don't know for sure, but that would seem to be like what here. So, this idea is blown apart by several things. One of those things is the bell curve, the IQ bell curve. Secondly, is there even existing the field of cultural anthropology ever? Thirdly, there being subcultures. You see, so to say like only white culture, only white culture norms are right. Good job. Wow, that's me being sarcastic. Given that there's many other cultures as well, now we go into cultural relativity, where whatever a culture's norms are right. Okay, that's called cultural relativity. I don't adhere to that. But okay, here's the bell curve. Here's what a bell curve looks like, and that's you, Dan. Now, Dan didn't educate the public right. He didn't talk about the IQ bell curve. And by the way, there being a book on the IQ bell curve doesn't negate the existence of there being an IQ bell curve where the majority of people fall in the middle. Low intelligence to high, and this is number of people. The majority of people fall in the center of average, and the outstanding or fewer cases are very low IQ, less special ed basically, and very high like genius level. And so the people on the extreme ends, you know, of this will have a problem complying with norms generally, and they shouldn't. You shouldn't have to, like, if you're a rocket scientist level person, your norms might be a little different due to that. Many highly intelligent people can find exceptions to things, or crucial distinctions other people like do not see. I'll think of examples later. But like I said, the majority of people, they fall within like the center usually. They typically fall within this right here, and they put that right there in the chart. So, and the people on this side, is too low to actually like compute right sometimes, so they often don't. That's why you see a certain amount of societal deviance. People do not actually know even how to comply like with what's going on, basically. And there are high IQ people who are drifters and transients because they know to not, they figured out to not care because they can see through the system that everything is a farce, or however you want to say it, or the game's rigged, what have you, whatever theories developed from that, or whatever. The world system is sometimes not worth complying with. So this is one thing that actually like disproves Dan's ideas, because not everyone can even do that. If the majority are here, this is where the norms really are. And so if you're born with too high or too low an IQ, you're screwed over in terms of that, and that would be not fair to those people. You're not fair to the special ed people, in other words, and the geniuses. So that's one thing. Now, another thing is cultural anthropology. I have it up here in my web browser right here. Oh, did we just like lose it right now? Well, basically, it's in my history. Then if I go right here, show anthropology. Oh, I'm not even connected, man. If you can just give me a second to regain what I had right here, that'd be really good. Be able to open page. Yeah. Cultural anthropology is a study of human culture, beliefs, and practices, and how people organize their societies. It's a subdiscipline of anthropology, which includes archaeology, physics, blah, blah, blah. Cultural anthropologists study how people in different societies organize their lives, interact with the natural world, make sense of the world around them. Okay, so they tackle questions like, how do people organize their everyday lives? How do people make a living? What do people consider funny? It's all within the other culture. So, depending on what nation you're living in on our planet, you'd be part of a culture that's different or the same as American culture. A lot of places are westernized now. A lot of third world countries are not westernized, so they have different cultural beliefs and practices, and they believe different things to be right and wrong. Um, for example, in some places, it's okay still to pick your nose. In in our country, you're not supposed to pick your nose. That's like against our cultural societal norms. Okay, so Dan would go over to some of the other countries like the Czech Republic where you can do that, and Dan would be hostile towards these people for picking their nose, when that's okay in their social norms, in their culture. Another thing is subcultures actually exist, and that's another thing I can bring right up here. You can even look it up yourself that there's subcultures. A subculture is a group of people within a society who share a distinct identity and values that differ from the mainstream culture. Subcultures can be based on shared beliefs, interests, aesthetics, political stances, blah, blah, blah. They are often seen as oppositional or alternative to the dominant culture, can be characterized as disenfranchised or subordinate. So, some examples of subcultures include Afrofuturists, goths, hackers, naturists, and punks. Punks are a huge topic of subculture, basically. So Rastafarianism subculture, I think that's true as well. So there's subcultures within culture, and that's another thing that begs to differ with Dan, because it's people that have grouped together in a subculture where their cultural norms differ from the mainstream norms in society, you see. So I get the impression from this belief system of his that it's one where such a person would catch you with their death bag, like it says in Mike and Bob and Leland in Twin Peaks. We're going to play the clip again. I'm going to play the clip right now where Bob, played by Frank Silva, says that to the camera, basically, because if you're one who holds Dan's beliefs and you think everyone has to obey social norms or you're done, the beliefs of that person would make it so he thinks you should be in your death bag, basically, because that would put everything neat and tidy in order and make society all in order, basically. Someone's neatly tucked away in their death bag, right? So we're going to play this again now. And get this up on the wall here. Yep. Now I'm going to put this over here. Hold on a minute. Okay. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully the sound also will come through here. Yeah. Do I want it like... I wanted it more through the... let's go through Windows Media Player here. Windows Media Legacy. There you go. That should work for me. Get that way up. Oh, yeah. Let's start it again, yeah. Okay.
Future past, the magician longs to see one chance out between two worlds. Fire, walk with me. We lived among the people. You say convenience store. We lived above it. I mean it like it is, like it sounds. I, too, have been touched by the devilish one. Tattoo on the left shoulder. But when I saw the face of God, I was changed. I took the entire arm off. My name is Mike. His name is Bob. Mike? Mike? Can you hear me? Catch you with my death bag. You may think I've gone insane.
See, right there. He said, I'll cut you or catch you with my death bag. It's one who wants to apply rigorously your social norms to you. You don't do what he says. He's going to make sure you end up in your death bag, all neatly tucked away. You didn't apply the social norms that he thought you should do. Now that's what happened to the victim in this show. She was partying a little hardy. It didn't look like she was applying social norms, and she had a maniac in her life who wasn't going to stand by and let that happen, basically. Yeah, that was the father Leland who got possessed of Bob and did that.
I promise I will kill again.
Wow, people. Seriously. Wow. We better all be afraid to apply Dan's idea of social norms then, huh? Or else we could end up dead, huh? We better be really afraid. You know, sometimes it seems like this guy doesn't even realize that professional musicians exist. He thinks everyone does the same field somehow. Everyone's a financial advisor. That's ridiculous. So how do I, as a musician, apply social norms in Dan's mind to where I'm doing what Dan thinks I'm supposed to be doing? Or like I'm doing my chosen career field, right? I'm doing the field that I went to college for. So now is that applying social norms? I'm a professional musician, right? So how am I now going to apply social norms as far as Dan is concerned? Well, guess what? I shouldn't care about what such a person thinks. Like, you see, because he thought like playing in a band was for only up to college, because that's being like a kid, he thinks. And so once you graduate from college and pass, you go into the professional world. You no longer play in a band. What about all the grown-up adult groups out there that make their income performing? There's a plethora and multitude of groups in our country that do that. Professional musicians that do their music as a job and earn a full-time income. So how does Dan compute that? I don't really know. I've even provided the demographics on people that graduate from college for music and put it on Facebook. There's median income, average income is actually up there for performance majors. It's a significant amount, as long as you graduated from school for it. Yeah. So there's that. But what else is there to say the heck about this? Oh no, man. Anyway, so yeah, what got this started was yesterday, probably, when I played my accordion and played that Supernatural. I played Supernatural by New Jeans versus the song that I've been doing before that sounds that way. And so something that I didn't sit right with Dan as far as social norms. I didn't do my hair the right way, or I was even playing the accordion, which I'm sure the grand majority of people don't do. That's disobeying social norms, right? Oh no. Now he will cut me with his death bag, I'm sure, right? Okay, very funny. As part of that's a joke. I'm not applying reverse threat upon myself. Don't worry. I'm not in harm's way. People, don't get all upset. Don't get all upset. Seriously. I'm sure something about that didn't actually sit well with such a person. I'm sure it didn't fit with norms, because if someone's exceptional at what they're doing, it will be noticed by other people. So that falls upon the high end of the bell curve, outside the average norm as far as being exceptional or very good at something. So that's why such a person gets noticed to begin with. That's why you would get songs based on you. That's why you'd get shows based on you, and they wouldn't tell you if they're too jealous of you or they think that they upset you. You're not part of their industry, so that they don't even care. Anyway, so that's why. That's all, basically. So I think with that being said, I can call it quits here. Good night.